This video will show you how to make a puzzle called Screech Owl, which was designed by Stephan to use a Facebook site called Puzzle Leisure that you can buy these puzzles in wood versions, which are beautiful. He is a series of 3 owl puzzles of different levels of difficulty. Screech Owl was the more difficult level, but they're just beginner and medium level difficulty, so they're great puzzles to start on and to do. The design is publicly available on puzzlewillbeplayed.com, but you do have to be a little careful because the designs in them for the frames and some of the parts can be mirror image. They might not quite be correct. I used a parametric design to build a very small version of it. Parametric designs are great for that because I can test it out to see if I've got the design correct, and it only takes a little filament. The regular size is built here, and you can see I've added some enhancements that you can do in 3D printing. It works very well. I've added some lettering, and I tried to make some owl eyes. I don't know if they look like owl eyes, but and some other markings on the side to show where the pieces go. So it works very well, and I'll show you how to assemble the different pieces once you print them on your 3D printer. The left and right eye and the beak. This is the top. I added some lettering. I have a single extruder, so I just did manual filament changes. And with the parametric design, I first just printed a small version to make sure that that would work. The small version uses a 5mm voxel. It uses very little filament to make. The larger ones are 10mm voxels. There's 2 blue plates, the 3 pegs that hold the 3 pegs. And so you first need to orient those. The frame is created in 2 parts. Basically you model the part in Fusion 360 or whatever 3D CAD modeling program you wish to use, and then you split it. You shouldn't try to print it all at once, because even though you can do it with supports, the drooping may cause the parts not to fit quite exactly. So you get a better fit if you split it in 2 and then glue it or screw it together. Many of the more difficult puzzles all screw together. So once this is together, you can insert it. I've just used round pegs to align the top and the bottom, and then I've glued this together. I've also put some markings on the sides to indicate where the plates go. It's just a medium level difficulty puzzle for someone starting out. I'll show you a little bit about the Fusion 360 design if you're interested in creating this and you're just starting out in Fusion 360. The design is on puzzlewillbeplayed.com. I used parametric variables here. You go to parameters, so I have one for burr, one for the bevel, and one for the inset. My inset is about 0.05. So I create components for all the parts, and in the parametric design, all my dimensions are in burr intervals. So this is 8 times a burr. So if my burr size is 5, this will compute to 40. If I change this to 10, internally it's still stored as 8 times the burr size, so this will automatically change to 80. So I just need to make that one change, and I can change the size that the model gets rendered. So this was one of the C parts. For the frame, I just started with a box and extruded cuts through it on the ends and in the face for the 5 parts. You can see from that definition there's how the inside of the frame will look. And so I just added a few parts inside to make sure that this was exactly the same as the definition. And the definition on the site is correct for this model. Then I added some beveling and lettering on the outside, even an SVG graphic of an owl. and I just inset those 0.06 millimeters. I then split it in two and added some pegs so that they could align, and I could print it in two parts and then glue it together. I did not offset this at all. I only offset the parts that go into this. And I put the level on the outside. So the three parts for the eyes and the beak, I first create a template. Oh, sorry, this is the C part, the template for the C parts. Each one's a different component, so I create one component and then I just copy it and paste new to create a second component and just modify the second component. I also added a little extrusion there to indicate where it went in the frame. This is one of the three face parts. Just two simple extrusions. I offset all the faces, so I basically highlight all the faces and offset them, whatever my inset amount is, and then I add a small bevel. Usually the bevel is about the burr divided by 10, so if it's a 10 millimeter voxel, it'll be a 1 millimeter burr. On the face I tried to add some eyes, so I just drew those on and then extruded those down about 1 to 2 millimeters. And then I extruded up a part as a new body. So those are two different parts. When you go right there to the part, you have to then offset those faces a little bit to make it a little wider so this part will easily go in. They just press fit very well. So this was the model. That's how I made it. It's a very nice model, works very well. You may wish to also make one.